Inside the Warrens Occult Museum, there's this mannequin dressed in white. And she is an homage to the infamous Connecticut White Lady. And no, I'm not talking about a middle-aged white woman named Karen. In Easton, Connecticut, there is a graveyard named Union Cemetery. It's been noted to be one of the most haunted graveyards within the US. That is thanks to the White Lady, a young woman who's been described as having long black hair and a long white flowing gown. Over the last 80 years, she has been sighted at night wandering among the gravestones, but also among the surrounding roadways, terrorizing drivers, some of which have even claimed to actually hit her with their car. These witness reports range from the police that patrol the area, to local residents, to even the infamous Ed Warren, who has actually claimed to capture her on video back in September 1990. And on a personal note, I live in Connecticut and I grew up here, so I do have a relative who has claimed to have seen the White Lady. Since I live here, we're gonna go to Union Cemetery together and hang out. You know, I've never been. But back to the documented cases. Back in 1990, a man named Rod was driving home from work late at night when he sees something out of the corner of his eye in his passenger seat. He quickly turns his head and sees an old man sitting next to him in 1930s attire. He's shocked and trying to process what he just looked at, and at the same time, he looks back briefly at the road and he sees a woman in the road with a long dress on. And within the moment that he hits the brakes, he instantly feels a blow of wind go past him. Then within that second, the man and the woman are now gone. Allegedly, he looks up in his rearview mirror and he just sees a line of a magenta color on the side of the road that he was driving on. While this is happening, he's overcome with this feeling of dread. I mean, maybe it's because he thinks he just possibly killed somebody, maybe. But in the rearview mirror, he doesn't see a body, he sees nothing except that color. So he continues to drive home, horrified, extremely emotional. He wakes his wife up when he gets home, he tells her about what happens, and then the very next day, he calls the Warrens. He's interviewed by Ed, and this is what prompts Ed Warren to start investigating the cemetery itself. But this is also when he meets Lorraine Warren, and he explains to her, when this happened, I was overcome with this feeling of dread and sorrow. She would tell him, when you see a spirit like this, you take on the anguish and pain of the spirit. You take on their emotion. This is when Ed Warren stays in the cemetery for a week straight, and on the 7th night, allegedly catches her on his VHS camera.